Today on Tom's Tech Show, we are creating a VPC complete with PowerShell. Hi there. Today we are going to be creating a VPC with PowerShell, and one of the commands we use is new EC2 VPC, which I have up here. And often the problem with PowerShell and AWS is in the guide it shows that you create a new VPC. Here's the command: new VPC, CIDR block, some tenacity, some other IPv6, force, a few different switch parameters. And then you come down to the bottom of this and you go, okay, well, what's the command? Give me an example, right? If you go to Microsoft PowerShell guide and try and do things, there are examples everywhere. They're multi-line. You can find code everywhere to do stuff from Microsoft. They've been around for quite a while and have built this huge community and this huge set of code. Well, here at AWS, it's not really quite that way, because if I do new EC2 VPC and give it a CIDR block, does that get me a VPC that is up and functional and able to be used? No. That just creates a VPC, doesn't do any networking, doesn't set up any subnets, doesn't do any of those things. So we need to be able to walk through this all the way through the commands to create a complete and usable VPC that we can then put EC2 instances in. Okay. So that's what we're starting. That's what we're going to do today. That's what got me to doing this video. Okay. So we're going to need a few things if we're running in PowerShell. First thing, we need to import the AWS PowerShell. I'm on a Linux box using .NET Core, PowerShell Core. So I need the AWS PowerShell Core, .NET Core version. So that's what we're doing here. The first line is import module, AWS PowerShell .NET Core. Okay. So, and then from your AWS account, you need to create an access key and a secret key. You go through and create a user. There's a video on how to do that. Then we need a region that we're going to create our VPC in. Nothing can be done in AWS really until you pick a region that you're doing this in. Okay, now we're going to have some variables here that are for our IP addresses that we're going to use. So we have the VPC CIDR and the two subnet IP address ranges, and then I need a name to call my VPC just so I can tag resources and be able to track them and see where they are. Okay, so let's bring up this more code here. This is the basic commands that we need to connect and get things going inside AWS. So we set AWS credential, give it our access key, our secret key, store that as default, then set our AWS region to the region that we mentioned above. So basically, kind of in this code, all you need to do is worry about these variables at the top, and then the rest of them flow down through the code. Okay, so we've got that set. Okay. So our next command that we're going to use, I'm going to bring this up here, is the new VPC command. So new VPC, giving that a variable, connecting that, doing new EC2 VPC, giving it my CIDR block. So this is going to create a VPC with the CIDR block 10.0.0.0/23, which gives me basically 2/24 subnets that I can use. Then it's not active. It takes a little while for it to, it could be 10 seconds, could be 30 seconds for it to become active. So we can do get EC2 VPC, the ID, and check the state. Here's like right here says VPC stat. I got this to be, is it not equal to available? It'll be, starting at some different pending, I think is the word that they use. But when it becomes available, then we can go and move on to our commands. Because if it's not available, we start running other commands really quickly. Not going to happen. We're going to get errors. So we need to make sure that the VPC is ready. So this is a little while loop that's there to take care of that. Okay. So does this give us a VPC that's up, ready, we can start throwing EC2 instances into? No, it's not. So next thing we have to do, well, the next thing that I typically do, which here we'll see, is create a tag. Now, if you're in a business situation and you want to be able to keep track of these things, you're reselling services, you're having customers come in and use some of these instances and things like that, you want to be able to create tags for them. So we do tag equals new object Amazon EC2 model tag. So this creates a object with the tag class. Then we need to give it a name, which is our tag key, which is the name is the tag, and the value is VPC name. So we'll have a tag in there, and this sets the name of the VPC. So on our list in VPCs, the name will actually show as our, in this case, our demo VPC. Okay. So I also come down and have another tag that's called billing. And like I said, you want to be able to set these tags, and in accounting the part in your billing part of AWS, you can specify a tag that is your billing tag that you want to keep track of. I name my tag billing to match the billing tag. Makes it pretty easy to follow. So if I have a customer that's I've created some EC2 instances for, and I want to keep track of what cost they're incurring so that I can either back charge them or see how that is balancing, into what I charge them for services, then I can just do a report off of billing and see how that's going. Okay. Now that we have that tagged, we need to do something else. The next thing is we need to create subnets. So we have our main CIDR block that's part of the VPC. And then, as you remember up here in the top, we have two subnets that I've designated. Well, I need to put those into availability zones. So if I have servers that are running and have like pairs of them, they're load balanced, or they're backup and primary and backup servers, then we want to be able to put them in two different availability zones. So if something happens to one availability zone, then all data and communication can switch to the other availability zone. So I'm going to do the command get EC2 availability zone. And that's going to get me a list of availability zones in this VPC that I've just created. So then we need to create the subnet is our next command here. And if you see here out towards the end, this AZ list, this gets me my list that I just got, and I'm picking 0, so the very first availability zone, and I'm putting my first IP subnet block into that availability zone and creating the subnet. I also do and run the tags on that. I can reuse my tagging code from up here on the top. These tags are the same for most of the VPC. There are some places where tags are handled a little bit differently, but in most of this part of the VPC, we can just give it new EC2 tag. The resource is subnet, and then I give it my tag A and my tag B for billing. Okay, so next I create a second subnet. This is my other subnet, so that's in AZ list 1. So now we have two availability zones. I have a subnet in each availability zone, and I give it the appropriate tags for naming and billing. Okay, so does this, at this point, do you have a valid and working VPC? Unfortunately, no. We need to do more work. Okay, so next thing we need to do is this VPC needs a way to get to the internet. Right now it's a VPC. It has no way to access the internet, no way to do anything or connect to anything. So the next command is to create a new EC2 Internet Gateway. So this gateway is an endpoint that allows our VPC to communicate on the internet. So I create the gateway. I also give that gateway the tags, my naming tag and my billing tag, and then I do an add EC2 Internet Gateway, my gateway ID of the gateway I just created, and the VPC. So if you're in the web interface, you create the Internet Gateway, and then you go down and you say attach it to VPC. That's this command here. Now we've just attached that to the VPC. So we have a VPC, we have IP addresses, we have subnets, we have an Internet Gateway. Are we now ready to start using this VPC? No, we're not. We still cannot use this VPC to do anything. So let's bring up some more code here. Okay. Now we have to grab the route table. So when the VPC is created, it creates a routing table. And we attach the Internet Gateway to that. But in order for our subnets to communicate with the route table, we have to register them. So we've created the subnets. They're just hanging out there, networks. They're not attached to anything, so we've got to connect them to the route table. Okay, so we grab the information about the route table. We get my EC2 route table, and here we have to filter. So we need to filter on the VPC ID. That's our VPC. If you have more than one route table, you need to get the correct route table. So we filter that based on our VPC that we just created. Okay. So now we're registering to the EC2 route table our two subnets. So we show the command here, register EC2 route table. The route table ID, or the route table that we just got, that ID with the subnet ID, we do it twice, both A and B. And because we're here dealing with route tables, I can also tag the route table with my naming tag and my billing tag. So now we have everything's coming down. It's all going to be tagged the same and all ready to go. Okay, so is this all we need to get the VPC running? Are we done? Are we good? Can we start working with instances? No. Okay, so one thing I do is also add a command to the subnets called map public IP. So when you bring up an instance, it only gets a private IP address. So in our case, here it will be a 10.0.0 IP address. So it might be 10.0.0.5, let's say, if we brought it up in our subnet A. But that can only communicate to the internet through our route table, our default gateway to the internet. So I may want to be able to remote into these computers quickly and easily to do functions or SSH into them. But I would need the computer, the EC2 instance, to have a public IP address mapped to it. Now these IP addresses are not static, so when they power down the EC2 instance, the external IP address will be released, and when you power it back up, it will get a new external IP address to that instance. So know that. I mean, you can have an elastic IP address put onto your instance, but that costs money. So if you're only doing this every once in a while, I need to get into your EC2 instance on very seldom occasions just to do some maintenance, then you can use this map public IP on launch, so it will generate a public IP address. You can look it up in the AWS console and know what the IP address is, and connect it. So if you ever have to power down, know that it's going to change that. If you're just rebooting from within the instance, it will not change that IP address. Okay, so what we need to do for this is edit the EC2 attribute for each subnet and map that public IP on launch flag to true. So then bring up instances, it gets the public IP address. you can connect to it easily. So, okay, so now are we ready? No, we're not ready yet. Okay. We have one more command that we need to do, and that is to specify our default route. So we have our routing table that we found up here. We have the routing table. So here we can specify the route table, specify a default route, which is the 0.0.0.0/0, and put that through our internet gateway. Now, if you bring up an EC2 instance within AWS, inside this VPC, the instance will be able to communicate to the internet. You'll be able to remote into the VPC through its public IP address and do functions like update it, install your software, whatever you need to do. So it's much more than just new VPC, right? It's much more than just entering this command here and boom, you're up and running. You have to do all this other stuff. And it takes a while. It took me a while to figure it all out, to go through, because there are not many examples, but that's how to do it. I will have this code up in my Bitbucket, so if you want to download it, play with it, create some VPCs, customize it to how you want it to be. We haven't even addressed a few other things that are needed, which are security groups and access keys, key pairs for you to be able to get passwords and things like that. That's also going to be another video. But this gets your VPC up and running and ready to go. All right. So thanks for watching. I'm Tom with Tom's Tech Show. If you like videos like this, give this one a like and subscribe to my channel. I also do videos on photography and movie reviews, and sometimes we get into television audiences and stuff, so I do reviews on those as well. So if you like any of that stuff, go ahead and follow my channel. Thanks for watching, and as always, God bless.